And good morning. Welcome in. The show is brought to you by the Golden Moon Casino Sportsbook, the Timeout Lounge. Bet $50 there. Play award-winning Dancing Rabbit Golf Club for $30. We welcome in Diamond Dave Bartoo. Matrix Analytical. He runs the numbers, college football, college basketball, the NFL. And, man, he has run some numbers for college basketball that some of us are not real happy about. And so, Diamond Dave, good morning. Welcome in on the Farm Bureau Insurance guest line. Tell me about the officiating in the Southeastern Conference.
Oh my gosh! Well, it was interesting because I finally started pulling up the conference numbers because now the coaching carousel is just about done. I'm bored, so I transitioned to college basketball for a little while working with NFL staffing. But I was looking at the numbers and I was like, wow. Because I was looking for things to tease you about it in Mississippi State on Twitter. Sure. Right. I love posting stuff that drives you nuts. And so you're one of my targets. And so I pull up Mississippi State numbers, and then I start looking at everybody else, and I'm like, dude, the SEC conference is whistle happy. Because I'm looking at, because one of the efficiencies I look at is how efficient are you per possession at getting to the free throw line. And because scoring points with the clock stopped, obviously, I mean, we all know that that's a big deal, and getting to the free throw line. And so, I was looking across all the SEC numbers, and it was universally everybody's free throw efficiency on defense was terrible. I think, what did I tell you? I think A&M was like 183rd out of 351 programs, or 183rd in conference play. And I think 6 of the SEC teams are between 300 and 340, which tells me, so you look at it across the board, it just tells me that there is just a lot of whistles. There's a lot of free throws being shot in the SEC relative to other conferences. And so, I mean, we're, what are you, 5-6 games into the conference season? And I haven't looked at all the other conferences altogether. But, man, it really appears to me that either A, you have whistle-happy refs, or B, could be a combination of both, you have very, very aggressive play taking it to the rack in college basketball in the SEC. But it was just fascinating to see all the numbers across the board really high. Nobody was good at it.
And Mississippi State, as far as what you like to call dead ball points, is dead last in the Southeastern Conference. Is that correct?
On offense. On offense.
Okay.
So when I'm looking, when I'm looking at the defensive side, see, I do this just like I do with college football, right? You got an offense and a defense. You got scoring efficiency on offense, scoring efficiency on defense, and everybody in the SEC is pretty poor in allowing teams to the free throw line and scoring in dead ball situations. On the offensive side, you would expect everybody to be really good in the SEC. They're bad on defense in conference play. They should all be really good. Mississippi State is at the bottom of the SEC in offensive efficiency at the free throw line. So it's telling me one of two things, okay, without watching the games, is they are getting to the line as much as anybody else, and they're terrible free throw shooters, or they're not getting to the line as much as everybody else. They are settling for jumpers. They're not driving the ball. They're not being aggressive and drawing the fouls that everybody else is getting. So it's one or the other. Either one is not a happy place to be if you're the head coach.
I'm not happy about this.
Well, look, we're just starting the conference, right? I mean, we're 5-6 games into it, yeah. and this is. But what it tells me though is that right now the SEC is blowing a lot of whistles. Guys are being aggressive. So when I'm looking at these numbers,
surprise me.
Right. So when I'm looking at these numbers, what it tells me that what does Mississippi State need to do? They either need to shoot the free throws better, or do they just need to have a more aggressive mindset, knowing that these SEC officials are going to blow the whistle a lot? I don't know. You maybe, anybody listening, you're the X's and O's people. I'm just telling stories with numbers, just like I always do.
Right.
But that's one of the stories I see about Mississippi State basketball in January.
Okay. So Jans did a miraculous job last year with the team that couldn't shoot and was, I think, top 5 or 10 defensive scoring efficiency, according to your numbers. Somehow got in the tournament because he's that good a coach. This year, they're kind of the same, maybe a little bit better on offense. Like you said, it's early, 5 games in, 18-game schedule plus 1. You at least get 1 in the SEC tournament, 19 conference games total. But something you said to me yesterday, Dave Bartoo, Matrix Analytical, he runs all the numbers, football, basketball, NFL. Something you said to me was, hey, I haven't watched a game yet, but the numbers tell me that they're pretty good inside the 3-point line, but they can't shoot the 3 and they don't defend the 3 well. Is that right?
Yeah. So I'm looking at the numbers here. So I look at the offense and keep in mind that this is just conference play. I've thrown out all the non-conference stuff. So we just got January. So sample size is small. So 3-point efficiency, they're not that great at it. They're 282nd in the country. Inside the arc, though, they're 83rd. And so it tells me that the strength of the team is inside. And I think I told you, my guess was their strength is bigs. They because they also defend well inside the arc. Their weakness defensively is defending outside the arc, and they put too many guys on the line. They're 302nd in the country in dead ball scoring. So they're walking into these games at a 3, 4, 5-point disadvantage just at the free throw line because of lack of efficiency on the defensive end versus lack of efficiency on the offensive end. But the strength on offense and defense is inside the arc. They're most efficient there. So it tells me that the strength of the team is probably the bigs inside.
You're right. It's Tolu Smith is an All-American post player.
Yeah.
And Jimmy Bell is a big boy that transferred in from West Virginia and Bobby Huggins' program this year. And those guys have kind of, along with one guard, have kind of made the magic happen. All right, Dave Bartoo.
Right. Yeah. And they played pretty balanced basketball. Overall right now, this looks like at this point, maybe a 500 team in the SEC, maybe a little bit better. I think if they get the efficiency going, if they start shooting better from 3 and clean up the fouls, it's going to be a much, much better team going forward. I don't think it's too far away from being a lot better. I just think the weakness is producing and defending the 3-point line right now.
All right. Do we want to go over any games or just leave it there?
Oh, we can go over games. I got everything dialed up here. Do you want me to rip through all the games tomorrow real quick?
Let's start with Mississippi State at Florida because they'll fly to Gainesville today, and they'll play Florida tomorrow.
Okay. All right. Now you're doing it in reverse order, man.
Oh, well, then you start with whatever game you want. It doesn't matter to me.
All set up. I was going to reverse backward.
Do it.
All the way to Mississippi State. But so I got the first one I got dialed up here is Ole Miss and Arkansas. Arkansas is offensively, dude, brutal. 306th outside the arc, 283rd efficiency inside the arc. They're good at getting to the free throw line, but everything else offensively, Arkansas is really, really weak. Ole Miss's strength is on offense. They're good at getting to the line. They're really good inside of 3. They're about average outside the arc. I got this now this one's at Ole Miss, right?
Jason, is it in Oxford?
I think it's in Oxford. So I'm at getting rid of the decimal points. Okay, I'm at 79-72. Ole Miss winning at home tomorrow. Auburn, Alabama. Oh, dude, Auburn is sexy on paper. Oh my gosh, dude! These numbers. So
That's what
they're
they say about
seventh.
me. Go ahead, Bartoo.
Right. Oh, just on paper.
Right.
Just on paper. But they're seventh in defensive scoring efficiency. They're 29th in offensive scoring efficiency. The most balanced team in the SEC by far. They defend everything well. They defend the three well. They're 11th in the country defending inside the arc. So they have great interior defense. Offensively, pretty balanced. Nothing awesome, but very, very balanced. Alabama's interesting because they are so three-point centric. They're 18th in the country in three-point efficiency, but inside the arc, they're 324th.
Wow.
They just gun. They just gun. So this is a really good matchup of offense and defense. If Auburn can push them off that three-point line and force them inside of it, that is not where Alabama's comfortable in living. I got Auburn 77, Alabama 71 tomorrow night.
Okay.
LSU Georgia. Now this is a tight game. I got LSU at 78, Georgia at 76. Georgia's strength is on offense, so is LSU. I'll take the over in this. I'm at 154 points. I don't know what the line is going to be. I'm guessing probably 150, 151. So both of these teams are offensive oriented, really good at efficiency outside the arc. So we'll hit Mississippi State, Florida last. Ooh, Florida's defense, 316th in the country.
Wow.
Mississippi State's offense, 243. So where Florida is interesting because they push hard on the three-point line, really hard on it. They're 44th in the country in defensive scoring efficiency against the three. So Mississippi. Now here's the thing: is though Florida is crap in the paint. Inside the three-point line, they're 346. So I'm guessing if you're watching Florida, yeah, they defend the three-point well, layup drill. A lot of easy open buckets inside of 15 feet. You know what Mississippi State's strength is on offense? Inside the three-point line. We just talked about it. So I like Mississippi State on offense over Florida's defense. On the other side, it is very, very balanced. It's very balanced. Mississippi State's defensive efficiency against the three versus Florida's three-point offense, almost the same. Same thing with the two-point. The big disparity is Mississippi State, 302nd in free throw efficiency on defense. They put too many guys on the line. Florida survives on the free throw line. Okay, so in this game tomorrow, if Mississippi State can clean up the fouls, if the foul shooting is even and Mississippi State can get inside the paint against Florida, I think they're going to win this game. The numbers, it's 76-75 Florida if you average everything out, but I really like Mississippi State maybe pulling the upset on the road tomorrow.
Oh, now that I love hoops. I know it doesn't drive the show, but that was a fun 15-minute pod on college hoops and crunching the numbers. That really was the bone-in ribeye of college basketball. There we go.
And I love it. Thank you for letting me talk about it. I mean, it's really, earlier in my life, I worked my way all the way up to Division II referee, and basketball was my favorite sport growing up. So even though I do a lot of college football and NFL, man, I love talking hoops. I love watching hoops. I love going to the games. Get out there and support your programs.
Dude. I went to the Final Four in 1987. Before that, Charles Barkley, got to see him in the SEC basketball tournament. I caught the bug, still have it. That's why I love March Madness. Bartoo, that was fantastic. Thanks, buddy.
Take it easy, brother.
Man, that was fun. I don't think we've ever done a college basketball pod with Bartoo, and that was awesome. Powered by the Golden Moon Casino Sportsbook and Lounge. Bet $50 there at the Timeout Lounge, full bar and food. Play award-winning Dancing Rabbit Golf Club for $30.